There is 1 hour before Fajr that most people sleep through without realizing what they are missing. While the world is silent, hearts are being healed, impossible du'as are being whispered, and lives are quietly changing in ways nobody can see yet. If you have ever cried at night, waited for an answer, or felt like nothing in your life is moving, this 1 hour may be more powerful than you think. Lesson 1. This quiet hour carries a power most people never use. There is something very different about the time before Fajr. The streets are quiet. The phones are quiet. Most conversations have stopped. Most people are sleeping. The noise of the day has not started yet. And when the outside world becomes quiet, you finally get a chance to hear what is happening inside your own heart. During the day, life keeps pulling you in different directions. Someone needs something from you. Your phone keeps giving you notifications. You are thinking about work, family, money, responsibilities, problems, messages, and unfinished tasks. Even when you want to sit quietly for a few minutes, your mind keeps moving. But before Fajr, that pressure becomes smaller. Nobody is asking you to prove anything. Nobody is watching you. Nobody is expecting you to smile. Nobody is demanding an explanation. It can simply be you and Allah. This is why this quiet hour can become so powerful. Many people think power means controlling situations. They think power means having money, influence, connections, or the ability to make people listen to them. But sometimes the greatest power is being able to sit alone before Allah and admit, I cannot control everything. I need you. That sentence can change a person. Because many of our biggest problems begin when we try to carry everything alone. You may be carrying a family problem that nobody knows about. You may be worried about someone you love. You may be afraid about your future. You may have made mistakes that still bother your heart. You may be waiting for something that has not happened. You may be smiling around people while inside you are exhausted. During the day you can hide these things. Before Fajr, you do not need to hide. You can speak to Allah exactly as you are. You do not need impressive words. You do not need a perfect speech. You do not need to know a long dua. You can simply say, Ya Allah, I am tired. You can say, Ya Allah, I do not know what to do. You can say, Ya Allah, help me make the right decision. You can say, Ya Allah, protect my family. You can say, Ya Allah, forgive me. You can say, Ya Allah, give me strength. Simple words can come from a very deep place. Sometimes people stay away from Tahajjud because they make it too complicated in their minds. They imagine that they must wake up for a very long time. They think they need to read many pages, make very long prayers, and feel something extraordinary every single night. So instead of doing something small, they do nothing. Do not make that mistake. Start small. If you normally wake up at Fajr, try waking a little earlier. Wash your face. Make wudu. Stand for 2 simple rakas. Then sit for a few minutes. Talk to Allah. You may be surprised by how different your heart feels. The secret is not in making the routine look impressive. The secret is in making it sincere. A person can spend a long time praying while their mind is somewhere else. Another person may spend only a short time before Allah, but their heart is completely present. Allah knows the difference. This quiet hour also teaches you something important about dependence. During the day, when something goes wrong, our first reaction is often to run toward people. We call someone, we send a message, we ask for advice, we check what everybody else thinks. There is nothing wrong with asking good people for help, but your heart should learn that people are not the first and final answer to every problem. People can listen, but they cannot control your future. People can advise you, but they cannot guarantee an outcome. People can promise you something and later change their minds. Allah does not need anyone's permission to help you. So before Fajr, train your heart to go to Allah before running everywhere else. Imagine you are facing a difficult decision. Maybe you are thinking about marriage. Maybe you are considering a job. Maybe there is a friendship or relationship confusing you. Maybe you are deciding whether to leave something or continue trying. You can ask 10 people and receive 10 different answers. One person tells you, do it. Another tells you, never do it. Someone else says, wait. Another person says, you are wasting your time. Now your mind becomes even more confused. Instead, take that confusion into the quiet hour. Ask Allah to guide you. Ask Him to remove what is harmful. Ask Him to make the right path easier. Ask Him to give you the courage to accept an answer you did not expect. That last part is important. Sometimes we say we want guidance, but what we really want is permission to do what we already decided. Real dua requires humility. It means saying, Ya Allah, if what I want is bad for me, then protect me from my own desire. That is powerful. The hour before Fajr can also show you how much unnecessary noise you carry through life. At night, when everything becomes silent, you may suddenly realize how many thoughts were controlling you during the day. Why did that person not reply? Why did they speak to me like that? What are people thinking about me? Why is my life not moving as quickly as someone else's? Why do they have something I do not have? These thoughts can consume entire days, but when you stand before Allah, many of those things begin to look smaller. You remember that your life is bigger than somebody's opinion. Your worth is bigger than somebody's attention. Your future is bigger than one disappointment. Your story is bigger than one bad chapter. This does not mean your problems disappear overnight. It means your heart begins to stand differently in front of those problems. And sometimes that is the first miracle. We often ask Allah to change our situation immediately, but sometimes the first thing that changes is us. You become calmer. You stop reacting so quickly. You stop sending messages you later regret. You stop chasing people who keep pulling away. You stop explaining yourself to everyone. You stop making decisions from fear. You begin to understand that peace is not always the absence of problems. Sometimes peace is having problems while knowing you are not facing them alone. This is why people who build a habit of waking before Fajr often protect that time. It becomes private. It becomes personal. It becomes a place where they can return when life feels heavy. Think about how different your days could become if your first serious conversation was not with your phone, not with social media, not with your problems, but with Allah. Before checking what everyone else is doing, you check your own heart. Before reading people's messages, you make dua. Before entering the noise of the world, you spend a few quiet minutes remembering who is truly in control. That changes your starting point, and your starting point affects everything that comes after it. You may still have a difficult meeting. Someone may still disappoint you. Your plan may still change. You may receive news you were not expecting, but you entered the day differently. You did not begin empty. You began connected to Allah. Do not underestimate that. A small routine repeated sincerely can slowly change the direction of your life. You do not need to become perfect overnight. You simply need to stop wasting every quiet opportunity Allah gives you. Tomorrow before Fajr, instead of saying, I am too tired, remember how many times you have stayed awake because you were worried. How many nights have you lost sleep because of a person? How many times have you stayed awake scrolling through your phone? How many times have you replayed an argument until midnight? How many hours have you given to fear? If your mind can stay awake for worry, perhaps your heart can wake up for Allah. Give a small part of the night back to the one who gave you the entire day. You may discover that this quiet hour was never empty. You were simply too busy to notice what it could do to your heart. Lesson 2. Wake up before Fajr and ask for the impossible. There are certain du'as we make easily because they feel realistic. Ya Allah, help me today. Ya Allah, give me good health. Ya Allah, protect my family. But then there are other things hidden deep inside the heart that we almost feel afraid to ask for. Maybe you want a completely new beginning. Maybe you want a family problem to finally heal. Maybe you want Allah to open a door that has been closed for years. Maybe you want to become financially stable after a long period of struggle. Maybe you want a righteous spouse after many disappointments. Maybe you want to leave a habit that has controlled you for a long time. Maybe you want peace after years of emotional pain. Maybe you are asking for something that seems so far away that you have started telling yourself, "This will probably never happen." This lesson is simple. Do not measure Allah's ability by your circumstances. Your situation may look impossible to you. That does not mean it is impossible for Allah. Human beings naturally think through what they can see. You look at your bank balance and decide what is possible. You look at your age and decide what is possible. You look at your past and decide what is possible. You look at the people around you and decide what is possible. You look at the closed doors and decide what is possible. But Allah is not limited by what you can see. This is why waking before Fajr with hope is so important. You come to Allah before the day begins and place your biggest dreams, fears and needs before Him. Not because you are demanding that everything happen exactly according to your plan, but because you know that nothing is too difficult for Allah. There is a big difference between strong dua and demanding dua. Strong dua says, "Ya Allah, I believe you can do this." Demanding dua says, "Ya Allah, you must do this exactly the way I want." Faith is not controlling Allah's answer. Faith is trusting Allah enough to ask, while also trusting His wisdom when the answer comes differently. Sometimes what you call impossible happens by receiving exactly what you wanted. Sometimes it happens because Allah gives you something better. Sometimes the miracle is that Allah changes your heart and you no longer need what once felt necessary for your happiness. Imagine a person who has been asking for someone to return to their life. Every night they say, "Ya Allah, bring this person back." At first, they believe that person is the only answer to their pain, but as they continue praying, something changes. Their heart becomes stronger, their thinking becomes clearer, they begin seeing things they ignored before. Eventually, they make a different dua. "Ya Allah, if this person is good for me, bring them closer in a good way. But if they are harmful for my faith, peace and future, remove my attachment." Look at how the dua has changed. The situation may not have changed yet, but the person has changed. That is a form of answered prayer people often overlook. Before Fajr, do not only ask Allah to give you things, ask Him to change you into someone ready to receive good things. If you are asking for marriage, ask Allah to make you a better spouse. If you are asking for success, ask Allah to give you discipline. If you are asking for wealth, ask Allah to give you wisdom with money. If you are asking for peace, ask Allah to remove habits that destroy your peace. If you are asking for respect, ask Allah to teach you healthy boundaries. If you are asking for a new opportunity, ask Allah to prepare your character for that opportunity. We sometimes want the blessing without becoming the person who can carry the blessing. You may ask for a bigger income, but still waste money. You may ask for a good marriage, but refuse to work on your anger. You may ask for success, but spend hours every day avoiding the work. You may ask for peace, but keep returning to the same people who destroy it. Dua is powerful, but dua should also move you toward better action. Before Fajr, ask for the impossible. Then, during the day, take the possible steps Allah has placed in front of you. If you are asking for a job, apply. If you are asking for knowledge, study. If you are asking for health, take care of your body. If you are asking Allah to repair a relationship, improve your own behavior where improvement is needed. If you are asking for freedom from a bad habit, remove the situations that pull you toward it. You pray as though everything depends on Allah, because ultimately it does. And you work with the opportunities Allah gives you. That combination protects you from two mistakes. The first mistake is relying only on yourself. The second mistake is making dua while refusing to take any responsibility. Both are incomplete. Think of a farmer. He cannot command rain, he cannot force a seed to grow, but he can prepare the soil, he can plant, he can water what he is able to water. Then he depends on Allah for what is outside his control. Your life works in a similar way. There are things you control and things you do not. Before Fajr, place what you cannot control in Allah's hands. During the day, take responsibility for what you can control. This will save you from endless anxiety. Many people are exhausted because they are trying to control what belongs to Allah while ignoring what belongs to them. They are trying to control who stays, trying to control when an opportunity arrives, trying to control how people see them, trying to control exactly when life changes. At the same time, they are neglecting their habits, attitude, discipline, prayers, choices, and reactions. Turn this around. Work on your part. Trust Allah with His part. And when you make a huge dua, do not allow your current situation to laugh you out of hope. Maybe nothing around you looks promising yet. That is okay. You do not need to see every step before taking the first one. A person can go to sleep with no idea how a problem will be solved and wake up one day to find that Allah has opened a path they never considered. People can change their minds. Circumstances can shift. New opportunities can appear. A harmful attachment can disappear. A door you were pushing against can close completely, while another door opens somewhere you never looked. Life can change very quickly. This is why hopelessness is dangerous. It makes you treat today's situation as though it is permanent. But today is not forever. The pain you feel today is not proof that you will always feel this way. The confusion you have today is not proof that you will never understand. The financial difficulty you have today is not proof that provision will never increase. The loneliness you feel today is not proof that you will always be alone. The mistake you made yesterday is not proof that Allah cannot give you a cleaner tomorrow. Go to Allah with the biggest thing in your heart. Ask sincerely, then leave room for Allah's wisdom. Do not decide in advance how the answer must look. Maybe you ask for one door and Allah gives you another. Maybe you ask for one person and Allah protects you through separation. Maybe you ask for immediate relief and Allah first gives you the strength to survive the waiting. Maybe you ask for success in one path and Allah redirects you towards something better for your life. When you understand this, your dua becomes deeper. Instead of saying, Ya Allah, give me only this, you learn to say, Ya Allah, give me what is truly good for me, even if it is different from what I imagined. That dua requires trust, and the quiet time before Fajr is one of the best moments to practice that trust. Wake up carrying the impossible, but do not return to bed carrying the same fear. Leave some of that weight in your dua. You were never created to control every outcome. Your responsibility is to ask, trust, act, and continue. What looks impossible from where you are standing may only be one chapter away from changing. Lesson 3. One private sajdah can heal what people never see. Some pain is easy to explain. If you break your arm, people can see the injury. If you lose your job, people understand why you are worried. If someone close to you passes away, people know you are grieving. But some of the deepest pain in life has no visible mark. You can look completely normal while carrying something very heavy. You can laugh with your family and still feel broken. You can go to work, answer messages, help other people, and still feel exhausted inside. You can post a smiling picture while your heart is struggling. You can sit in a room full of people and feel completely alone. Nobody sees everything. Sometimes even the people who love you do not fully understand. You try to explain, but the words come out wrong. You say, I am just tired. But it is more than tiredness. You say, I am fine. But you are only saying it because you do not know how to describe what is happening inside. This is where private sajdah becomes precious. In sajdah, You do not need to create the perfect explanation. Allah already knows. You may not even understand your own feelings. Allah knows them. You may be confused about why something hurts so much. Allah knows the whole story. You may have forgotten some of the things that slowly damaged your confidence. Allah did not forget. There is freedom in knowing that you can go before Allah without pretending. People usually see the version of you that you show them. Allah knows the version you hide, the one who is scared, the one who feels rejected, the one who is tired of being strong, the one who regrets mistakes, the one who worries about the future, the one who still misses someone they know they should release, the one who wants to believe everything will be okay but sometimes struggles. Take that person into sajdah, not the public version, the real version. Sometimes healing begins when you finally stop performing. You do not have to pretend to be spiritually strong. You do not have to force tears. You do not have to sound beautiful. Simply be truthful. Ya Allah, this hurt me. Ya Allah, I am angry and I do not want this anger to control me. Ya Allah, I miss someone who may not be good for me. Ya Allah, I feel forgotten. Ya Allah, I made a mistake and I am ashamed. Ya Allah, I do not know how to forgive. Ya Allah, I cannot carry this by myself anymore. Those are not weak words, they are honest words. And honesty before Allah is much healthier than pretending you have no struggle. Sometimes a person refuses to acknowledge their pain because they think ignoring it makes them strong. It does not. Ignored pain usually finds another way to come out. It may come out as anger. It may come out as jealousy. It may come out as constant overthinking. It may come out as needing attention from the wrong people. It may come out as becoming cold with everyone. It may come out as losing motivation. It may come out as pushing away people who genuinely care about you. Sajdah gives you a place to face your heart without letting your heart control everything. You acknowledge the pain, but you also place it before Allah. There is another important lesson here. Not everyone deserves access to your wounds. When you are hurt, you may feel a strong need to tell somebody everything. You want someone to understand. You want someone to confirm that you were treated unfairly. You want someone to make you feel better. But sharing your deepest pain with the wrong person can create another problem. Some people listen because they care. Others listen because they are curious. Some protect your secrets. Others repeat them. Some give wise advice. Others increase your anger. Some help you heal. Others keep you emotionally attached to the pain. Learn to be careful. You can seek help from trustworthy people when you need it, but do not make every person your emotional emergency room. Build the habit of taking your deepest feelings to Allah first. Private sajdah protects your dignity. Nobody needs to know how much you cried. Nobody needs to know every detail. Nobody needs to watch your healing process. Some of the strongest changes in your life can happen privately. The world may see you become calmer and wonder what changed. They may see you stop chasing people. They may see you stop reacting to every insult. They may see you become more disciplined. They may see you smile again, but they will not know about the mornings you woke before Fajr. They will not know about the du'as you whispered. They will not know about the sajdah where you admitted that you were tired of living the same way. And they do not need to know. Not every victory needs an audience. Think about the person who hurt you. Maybe you replay what they did again and again. You imagine what you should have said. You imagine them realizing your value. You imagine receiving an apology. You imagine the day they regret losing you. Be careful. If your healing depends on their regret, they still have control over your heart. If your peace depends on their apology, they still have control. If your confidence depends on them finally understanding what they did, you are giving them too much power. In sajdah, ask Allah to free you from needing closure from people who may never give it. Closure does not always arrive as a message. Sometimes closure is becoming strong enough to continue without the message. Sometimes healing is no longer checking whether they noticed your absence. Sometimes healing is not needing to explain your side anymore. Sometimes healing is hearing their name and no longer feeling your entire mood change. Sometimes healing is accepting that Allah saw what happened, even if nobody else understood. This takes time. Do not pressure yourself. You may pray one night and still feel hurt the next day. That does not mean your prayer was useless. Healing is often a process. Think about a physical wound. You clean it, you protect it, you give it time. You do not keep cutting it open every morning to see whether it has healed. Emotional wounds need similar wisdom. Do not keep visiting what damaged you. Do not keep reading old conversations. Do not keep watching somebody's online life. Do not keep asking mutual friends about them. Do not keep feeding the exact pain you are asking Allah to heal. Your actions during the day should support the dua you make at night. If you ask Allah to help you detach, stop searching for reasons to reconnect. If you ask Allah to protect your peace, stop walking willingly into unnecessary arguments. If you ask Allah to increase your confidence, stop comparing yourself with everyone on social media. If you ask Allah to heal your heart, stop giving unlimited access to people who repeatedly wound it. Sajdah is not an escape from reality. It helps you return to reality with a healthier heart. After sajdah, your problem may still exist, but perhaps now you can respond with more wisdom. Maybe you finally decide not to send that angry message. Maybe you apologize for your own mistake. Maybe you block a path that keeps leading you back to sin. Maybe you seek professional help for something that needs more support. Maybe you have the difficult conversation you have been avoiding. Maybe you simply decide that today you will not punish yourself for yesterday. That is progress. Never underestimate one sincere private sajdah. You may enter it carrying a heart nobody understands and rise from it with enough strength to face another day. People do not need to see your wound for Allah to know where it hurts. And people do not need to understand your healing for it to be real. Lesson 4. The tears of tahajjud are never meaningless. There are tears that come because of sadness. There are tears that come because of fear. There are tears that come because you miss someone. There are tears that come because you regret something. There are tears that come because you have been strong for too long. And sometimes there are tears you cannot even explain. You stand in prayer and suddenly your eyes become heavy. You begin making dua, and the emotions you were controlling all day come out. Do not be embarrassed by that. You do not need to hide your tears from Allah. A strange thing happens when people become used to appearing strong. They begin believing that crying is failure. They tell themselves, I should be over this by now. I should not care anymore. I need to be stronger. But strength does not mean having no emotions. Strength means knowing where to take your emotions. Crying before people can sometimes leave you feeling exposed. Crying before Allah can remind you that there is still softness inside your heart, and a soft heart is not something to be ashamed of. However, do not make a second mistake. Do not think tears are required for a dua to matter. Some nights you may cry deeply, other nights you may feel very little. Some nights your concentration will be strong, other nights your mind will wander. Some mornings you will wake excited. Other mornings you will have to fight your own tiredness just to get out of bed. Your worship is not meaningless because you did not cry. Sincerity is deeper than emotion. A person may cry easily by nature. Another person may feel deeply but rarely cry. Allah knows both hearts. The goal is not to produce tears. The goal is to become truthful with Allah. But when the tears come naturally, let them come. Perhaps you have been carrying something for months. You did not want to worry your family. You did not want friends to think you were weak. You did not want to complain. So you kept saying, I am okay. Then one morning before Fajr, you finally say what is actually inside you. Ya Allah, I am afraid. And suddenly the tears begin. Maybe those tears were waiting for a safe place. Tahajjud can become that place. There is something else you need to understand. Sometimes tears do not mean that you are falling apart. Sometimes they mean that your heart is releasing what it could no longer carry. Think of how physically tired you feel after holding tension all day. Your shoulders become tight, your breathing becomes shallow, your mind becomes restless. Emotional weight can work in a similar way. When you finally speak honestly to Allah, your heart can feel lighter even when nothing outside has changed. You may still have the same problem when Fajr arrives. The bill may still need to be paid. The family disagreement may still exist. The person may still be gone. The result you are waiting for may not have arrived. But something inside you feels different. You no longer feel that you are carrying the entire problem alone. This is why the meaning of Tahajjud should not be reduced to, "I prayed, therefore tomorrow I must receive exactly what I requested." That turns worship into a transaction. Your relationship with Allah is deeper than that. Sometimes you pray because you need something. Sometimes you pray because you need Allah more than the thing. There is a difference. Imagine asking Allah for a certain opportunity for many months. At first, your entire prayer is about the opportunity. Ya Allah, give me this. Ya Allah, open this door. Ya Allah, make it happen. But over time, something beautiful can happen. Your dua becomes, Ya Allah, I still want this, but I want your pleasure more. Ya Allah, if this door will harm me, close it. Ya Allah, do not let my desire become stronger than my trust in you. Now you are not only asking for an outcome, you are building surrender. That is spiritual growth. The tears you cried in the process were not wasted just because the answer looked different from your expectation. Maybe the tears softened your heart. Maybe they pushed you toward repentance. Maybe they taught you patience. Maybe they helped you stop depending on a person. Maybe they made you understand how temporary this world is. Maybe they brought you closer to Allah in a way comfort never did. This is why you should be careful when judging difficult seasons. You may be inside a chapter whose purpose you cannot yet understand. Years later, you may look back and say, that period was painful, but it changed me. You may realize that if everything had gone exactly the way you wanted, you would never have learned some of the lessons that now protect your life. This does not mean you should search for pain. Islam does not ask you to love suffering for its own sake. Ask Allah for ease. Ask Allah for relief. Ask Allah for protection. But when pain arrives, do not let it become meaningless. Use it. Let it make you wiser. Let it make you kinder. Let it make you less arrogant. Let it make you careful with other people's hearts. A person who has cried knows how valuable gentle words can be. A person who has felt rejected knows how important kindness is. A person who has made mistakes knows why mercy matters. A person who has spent nights begging Allah for help should become less interested in judging the struggles of others. Your tears should make you softer, not bitter. If your pain only makes you cruel, you are letting the wound teach the wrong lesson. Perhaps someone broke your trust. Do not become dishonest with everyone. Perhaps someone abandoned you. Do not begin abandoning good people before they have a chance to hurt you. Perhaps someone used your kindness. Do not decide kindness is foolish. Wisdom and bitterness are not the same thing. Wisdom says, I learned, I will use better boundaries. Bitterness says, everyone is bad. Nobody deserves anything from me. Tahajjud should slowly move you toward wisdom. Cry if you need to cry. Then ask Allah, what should I learn from this? Maybe you need stronger boundaries. Maybe you need to stop idealizing people. Maybe you need to forgive yourself. Maybe you need to repent. Maybe you need to stop waiting for somebody else to become the person you need them to be. Maybe you need to move forward. Every tear does not need an immediate explanation. Sometimes you simply need to continue. Continue praying, continue trying, continue asking, continue improving yourself. Continue trusting Allah even when you do not understand the timing. Do not become the person who worships Allah only while feeling emotional. The real test often comes when the emotion disappears. Can you still wake up when there are no tears? Can you still pray when you feel ordinary? Can you still make dua when you are not desperate? Can you remember Allah during peaceful seasons too? Pain can bring people to Allah. Gratitude should help them stay. If Allah gives you relief after a difficult season, do not forget the place where you cried. Do not return to carelessness simply because life feels easier. Let the difficult night create a better morning. Your tears were not a performance. They were part of a conversation between your heart and Allah. People may never know how many times you cried before Fajr. That is okay. Some things become more beautiful because they remain between you and Allah. Lesson 5. What you cry for at night may arrive in ways you never expected. One reason people become discouraged with dua is that they create a very narrow picture of how the answer should arrive. They say, if Allah answers me, this person will call me. If Allah answers me, I will get this exact job. If Allah answers me, this problem will disappear this week. If Allah answers me, everything will happen in the order I planned. Then when life moves differently, they think nothing is happening. But sometimes the answer is moving toward you through a road you never expected. You asked Allah for peace. You expected a person to change. Instead, Allah gave you the courage to stop depending on that person's behavior. You asked Allah for a better future. You expected one particular opportunity. That opportunity disappeared, but months later, another one arrived that suited you much better. You asked Allah to protect you. You expected everything to remain comfortable. Instead, something was removed from your life, and only later did you understand why losing it protected you. You asked Allah for guidance. You expected a clear sign. Instead, the wrong path became harder and harder and harder until you finally stopped forcing it. This is why you should never judge Allah's answer only by whether your original plan happened. Your plan is created from what you know today. Allah knows what you cannot see. You know what you want. Allah knows what it will do to you if you receive it. You know how something looks from outside. Allah knows what is hidden inside it. That is why trust is necessary. Before Fajr, you may cry and ask Allah for something with complete sincerity. Make the dua, but leave the door open for Allah's wisdom. Say, Ya Allah, this is what I want, but you know what I need. That sentence can save you from fighting against your own protection. Sometimes we keep knocking on a door Allah is closing. Then we become angry because it will not open. We say, why is this happening? We push harder. We chase. We beg people. We compromise our dignity. We ignore warning signs. We keep trying to revive something that has already shown us what it is. Then years later, when we finally see clearly, we say, I wish I had stopped earlier. What looked like rejection may have been protection. This applies especially to people. You can become so attached to somebody that you start believing your entire future depends on them. Your mood depends on their messages. Your confidence depends on their attention. Your peace depends on whether they are happy with you. You begin making dua for them more than you make dua for yourself. There is nothing wrong with asking Allah for a person who is good for you, but add wisdom to the dua. Ya Allah, if this person is good for my faith, character, peace, and future, make it good and easy. If not, remove what is harmful and help my heart accept your decision. That is a mature dua. It does not say, I do not care. It says, I care, but I trust Allah more than I trust my limited view. Sometimes the thing you cry for arrives after you stop chasing it. Why? Because chasing can make you desperate. Desperation can make you lower your standards. It can make you accept disrespect. It can make you make decisions from fear. It can make you believe any attention is better than being alone. But when you build your connection with Allah, your heart becomes steadier. Then if the blessing comes, you receive it with a healthier mindset. You do not worship the blessing. You do not make the person your whole life. You do not make success your identity. You appreciate the gift without forgetting the giver. There are also times when your dua is answered through preparation. Suppose you ask Allah for a better career. You expect an immediate offer. Instead, you suddenly feel pushed to learn a new skill. At first it seems unrelated. Months later, that skill becomes the reason a new opportunity opens. You thought the answer would be a job. The first part of the answer was education, or perhaps you ask Allah for financial stability. Instead of money suddenly appearing, you become more disciplined. You stop wasting. You learn to save. You become careful about debt. You begin building something small. Years later, you realize the stability came through habits, not one dramatic event. The answer arrived in a form you did not recognize at first. This is why you must stay awake spiritually during the day. Do not only make dua at night. Pay attention to what Allah may be teaching you after the dua. Maybe a conversation gives you clarity. Maybe an opportunity appears. Maybe an old path closes. Maybe you become uncomfortable with a habit you once enjoyed. Maybe you suddenly understand that a certain friendship is pulling you away from the person you want to become. Maybe you receive advice that challenges you. Not every change will feel pleasant. Growth often feels uncomfortable before it feels freeing. You ask to become stronger. Do not be surprised if life gives you moments where strength must be practiced. You asked for patience. Do not be surprised if you face waiting. You asked Allah to help you stop depending on people. Do not be surprised if some people become unavailable and you are forced to discover that you can survive without their constant presence. This does not mean every painful thing is easy to interpret. Do not try to create a dramatic spiritual meaning for every small event. Sometimes you will not know why something happened. That is okay. You do not need an explanation for everything in order to trust Allah. There will be chapters you understand only later, and there may be things you never fully understand in this life. Trust means continuing even without complete answers. The morning after a heavy tahajjud, do not walk around demanding a sign. Do not become obsessed with interpreting every number, dream, message, coincidence, or random event. That can create confusion. Instead, focus on what is clear. Pray, make good decisions, use wisdom, seek advice when necessary. Keep your character strong. Avoid what you know is wrong. Take healthy steps. Let Allah handle the hidden parts. Your responsibility is not to decode every secret. Your responsibility is to live faithfully with what you know. And remember that delays do not always mean denial. Some things require time. A tree does not become large the day you plant the seed. A child does not become an adult in 1 week. A person does not change every bad habit overnight. Some answers unfold slowly. Maybe Allah is preparing the situation. Maybe He is preparing you. Maybe the timing is protecting something you cannot yet see. Do not let impatience turn your prayer into resentment. You can be tired and still trust. You can feel disappointed and still trust. You can cry and still trust. Faith does not mean pretending you never feel frustration. It means that frustration does not push you away from Allah. You keep returning. One morning, you may look at your life and realize that something you once cried for has arrived, but it may look different from the picture you had in your head. Perhaps you asked for companionship and Allah gave you better friends before giving you a spouse. Perhaps you asked for success and Allah first taught you how to recover from failure. Perhaps you asked for confidence and Allah removed the people whose approval had become your addiction. Perhaps you asked for a new life and Allah first forced you to release an old version of yourself. Do not miss the answer simply because it arrived wearing different clothes. Sometimes the miracle is not that Allah followed your plan. Sometimes the miracle is that He saved you from it. Lesson 6. The one who finds Allah before Fajr never wakes up empty. There are different kinds of emptiness. You can have money and still feel empty. You can have people around you and still feel empty. You can receive attention and still feel empty. You can achieve something you wanted for years and still wake up asking, why does this not feel the way I expected? The human heart was never designed to be satisfied by temporary things alone. People can bring happiness, success can bring satisfaction, a comfortable home can bring ease, money can solve real problems, marriage can bring companionship, good friends can make life beautiful. These are blessings, but none of them can replace your relationship with Allah. The problem begins when we ask temporary things to do what only faith can do. We expect another human being to remove every loneliness. We expect money to remove every fear. We expect success to prove our worth. We expect attention to heal insecurity. Then the person disappoints us. Money becomes stressful. Success becomes normal. Attention disappears. And we feel empty again. The time before Fajr teaches you to fill the heart from the right source. You wake up before anybody praises you, before anybody needs you, before anyone gives you attention, and you remember Allah. That changes how you enter the world. You no longer need every person to fill your emotional cup. You are still human. You still love. You still care. You still appreciate people. But you stop making people responsible for your entire peace. Imagine two people entering the same difficult day. Both face criticism. Both receive disappointing news. Both deal with somebody rude. But one of them began the morning immediately checking messages, comparing their life, worrying about responsibilities, and rushing. The other spent a few quiet moments before Fajr in prayer and dua. Does that mean the second person will never feel upset? Of course not. But they may have a stronger place inside themselves to return to. They already reminded their heart, Allah is greater than what happens today. That reminder matters. When you find Allah before Fajr, you may still wake up with problems, but you do not wake up spiritually empty. You have already spoken about your fears. You have already asked for guidance. You have already asked forgiveness. You have already remembered that your life has a purpose bigger than pleasing people. That becomes emotional strength. One reason people become extremely dependent on relationships is because they are hungry inside. Then anyone who gives attention feels like salvation. Someone sends kind messages and suddenly you cannot imagine life without them. Someone listens to you and you immediately give them access to your entire heart. Someone shows interest and you start building your future around them. Be careful. When your heart is starving, you can mistake attention for love. You can mistake attachment for compatibility. You can mistake emotional intensity for something healthy. A heart connected to Allah learns to slow down. You can appreciate someone without losing yourself. You can love someone without making them your God. You can miss someone without destroying your routine. You can be disappointed without believing your life is finished. This is not coldness. This is balance. The same applies to success. When you do not know where your worth comes from, you may spend your entire life chasing proof, more money, more followers, more praise, more achievements, more people saying you are doing well. But every achievement gives only a temporary high. Soon you need the next one. The heart says, what else? Before Fajr, you remember that your deepest identity is not your job title. It is not your bank balance. It is not your social media numbers. It is not whether somebody chose you. It is not whether people understand you. You are a servant of Allah. That identity can remain when everything else changes. Jobs can change. People can leave. Money can rise and fall. Health can change. Plans can fail. But your door to Allah remains open. That is why the person who learns to find Allah in private develops a type of wealth that cannot be measured by possessions. They may have a hard life and still carry gratitude. They may have unanswered questions and still carry hope. They may feel sad and still know where to turn. This does not mean religious people never experience deep emotional struggles. Do not create that unrealistic picture. Faith does not make you less human. It gives your humanity direction. If you are struggling badly, seek appropriate help. Talk to trustworthy people. Use the support Allah has made available, but keep Allah at the center. People can support your healing. Allah is the one you ultimately depend upon. There is another reason the hour before Fajr protects you from emptiness. It forces you to spend time without entertainment. Modern life teaches us to run away from silence. The second we feel bored, we pick up the phone. The second we feel lonely, we check social media. The second an uncomfortable thought appears, we look for distraction. So we stay constantly stimulated but rarely peaceful. Before Fajr, sit without all of that. Put the phone away. You do not need to know what the world is doing at that moment. You need to know what your heart is doing. Ask yourself simple questions. What am I becoming? What am I chasing? What do I need to repent from? What is stealing my peace? Who am I trying too hard to impress? What am I afraid of losing? What blessing have I stopped appreciating? These questions can wake up parts of your heart that daily noise has put to sleep. Maybe you realize you have been complaining about something you once prayed for. Maybe you realize you are spending your best energy on people who give very little back. Maybe you realize your phone is receiving more attention than your family. Maybe you realize you have been delaying repentance because you keep saying, "I will change later." The quiet hour shows you things, and once you see them, you have a choice. You can return to sleep and ignore them, or you can begin changing. This is where spiritual fullness becomes practical. Finding Allah before Fajr should make you better after Fajr, more patient, more honest, more disciplined, more grateful, kinder with your family, more careful with your tongue, less interested in gossip, less controlled by anger, more willing to apologize, more willing to forgive. If your night prayer does not affect your daytime character at all, then you should ask what is missing. Worship is not only a private feeling, it should slowly appear in the way you live. The person who spends time asking Allah for mercy should become more merciful. The person who asks Allah to forgive them should become less arrogant about other people's mistakes. The person who asks Allah for provision should become more grateful for what they already have. The person who asks Allah for guidance should become more willing to follow guidance when it challenges their desires. That is fullness, not just emotion, transformation. So when you wake before Fajr, do not measure the value of the moment only by whether you felt something dramatic. Maybe there were no tears, maybe you were sleepy, maybe your dua felt simple. Still, you showed up. You turned to Allah while much of the world was quiet. You gave your heart a source deeper than people's approval. And if you continue doing this, little by little, you may notice that you stop waking up desperate for the world to complete you. You still have needs, you still have dreams, but there is something inside you that says, "Even while I wait, I have Allah." That sentence can protect a heart from many bad decisions. Lesson 7. Win the hour before Fajr and change the rest of your day. Many people want to change their lives by changing everything at once. They create huge plans. Tomorrow I will exercise every day. I will never waste time. I will stop every bad habit. I will read more. I will pray perfectly. I will fix my sleep. I will become disciplined. I will change my entire life. For 3 days they feel motivated. Then they become tired. The plan collapses. And they decide, maybe I am just not disciplined. There is a simpler way to think. Do not try to win the entire year tonight. Win 1 hour. The hour before Fajr can become the foundation of the rest of your day. If you learn to protect that time, several other habits may slowly become easier. To wake earlier, you have to think about when you sleep. To sleep earlier, you have to think about how much time you waste at night. To wake for Tahajjud, you have to fight the desire to remain comfortable. To pray with focus, you have to reduce distractions. To make dua honestly, you have to think about what is happening inside you. One small habit begins touching many other parts of your life. That is why this lesson is not only about prayer. It is about becoming intentional. Most people do not lose their days because they intentionally choose a terrible life. They lose their days through small unconscious choices. 5 minutes becomes 30 minutes on the phone. One video becomes 20 videos. One unnecessary argument ruins the mood for hours. One late night makes Fajr difficult. A tired morning leads to a lazy afternoon. Then the person says, "I do not know where my time goes." Time usually does not disappear. We give it away in pieces. Winning the hour before Fajr teaches you to take some of it back. Begin the night before. Do not expect yourself to sleep at 2 a.m. every night and happily wake before Fajr. Make the routine realistic. If possible, reduce useless screen time before bed. Place your phone away from your pillow. Prepare what you need. Set an alarm. More importantly, set an intention. Tell yourself why you are waking. You are not waking to prove that you are better than anyone. You are not waking to create a religious image. You are waking because you need Allah. That intention makes the alarm feel different. When it rings, your first battle begins. The bed is warm. Your mind says, 5 more minutes. Those 5 minutes can become the entire hour. So create one simple rule. When the alarm rings, sit up. Do not negotiate while lying down. A sleepy mind is very good at creating excuses. I will start tomorrow. I already prayed yesterday. Allah knows I am tired. I need more sleep. Sometimes you genuinely do need rest, and Islam does not ask you to destroy your health. Be balanced, but also learn the difference between genuine need and ordinary laziness. If you always wait until worship feels easy, you will miss many opportunities. Discipline means doing something valuable even when your feelings are not helping you. You do not need a complicated Tahajjud routine. This is important. A simple routine you maintain is better for your growth than a huge routine you abandon after 2 days. Wake. Make wudu. Pray what you are able to pray. Make dua. Ask forgiveness. Sit quietly for a few minutes if you have time. Then prepare for Fajr. That can be enough to begin changing your mornings. During dua, do not rush through a memorized list like you are completing a task. Slow down. Choose what actually matters. Ask for your faith. Ask for your parents. Ask for your spouse or future spouse. Ask for your children. Ask for protection. Ask for halal provision. Ask for forgiveness. Ask Allah to remove envy, anger, arrogance, and unhealthy attachment from your heart. Ask Him to make you useful. Ask Him to protect you from wasting another day. Then when Fajr arrives, carry the meaning of your dua into action. You asked Allah to help you control anger. Today, when somebody annoys you, remember the dua before reacting. You asked Allah to give you discipline. Today, when you want to delay important work, remember the dua. You asked Allah to help you leave a bad habit. Today, when temptation comes, remember what you asked for. You asked Allah for better relationships. Today, speak more gently to the people already in your home. This is how the hour changes the day. You create a connection between prayer and behavior. Suppose you wake before Fajr and ask Allah, help me protect my tongue. Later that afternoon, someone tells you gossip about another person. Normally, you would join the conversation, but now a thought appears. I asked Allah this morning to make me better. That small pause can save you. Or suppose you made dua for peace. Later you feel tempted to check the social media page of someone who always disturbs your emotions. Your hand reaches for the phone. Then you remember, I asked Allah for peace. Why am I voluntarily reopening the wound? You put the phone down. That is the prayer becoming action. Or perhaps you ask Allah to increase your provision. Then at work you have an opportunity to be dishonest. You remember your dua. You decide that you do not want provision through something that damages your integrity. Again, the hour is changing the day. This is what spiritual discipline looks like in ordinary life. It is not always dramatic. Often it is one small decision at a time. One message you do not send. One argument you walk away from. One temptation you refuse. One sincere apology. One task you complete instead of delaying. One moment where you choose gratitude over complaining. One moment where you remember Allah before reacting. These small victories build a different person. And because the hour before Fajr happens before the day's distractions, it gives you a chance to decide who you want to be before the world begins pulling at you. You can even use part of that time to mentally prepare for your day. What difficult situation might you face? How do you want to behave? What important task must be completed? Who needs your patience? Where are you likely to become distracted? Ask Allah for help with those specific things. For example, Ya Allah, I have an important meeting today. Help me speak clearly and honestly. Ya Allah, I will see someone who has hurt me. Help me control my emotions. Ya Allah, I need to complete this work. Protect me from laziness. Ya Allah, there is tension in my family. Help me become part of the solution, not more of the problem. Now your dua is connected to real life. This also protects you from a common mistake, using spirituality only as an emotional escape. You pray, feel peaceful, and then return to the same destructive habits. No. The peace of Tahajjud should give you strength to make better choices. If you are praying for a better life, build better habits. If you are praying for a stronger marriage, become a better partner. If you are praying for success, respect your responsibilities. If you are praying for health, take reasonable care of your body. If you are praying for knowledge, make time to learn. If you are praying for freedom from sin, stop creating easy access to the sin. Your dua and your actions should move in the same direction. Do not pray for something at night and then fight against it all day. Another powerful benefit of winning this hour is that it changes how you experience time. When you wake late and immediately rush, the day feels like it owns you. You are reacting from the first moment. Alarm, phone, messages, work, problems, responsibilities. Everything feels urgent, but when you wake before Fajr, you create a small space where you are not reacting. You are choosing. You choose to stand before Allah. You choose what to ask for. You choose what kind of person you want to be today. That sense of intention can continue into the morning. Instead of beginning the day emotionally scattered, you begin with direction. And if the day later becomes messy, you still remember where you started. Some days will go beautifully. Other days will fall apart. You may wake for Tahajjud and still lose your patience later. You may make a sincere dua and still make a mistake. Do not use one mistake as an excuse to destroy the rest of your progress. This is another trap. A person says, I already failed today, so the whole day is ruined. No, you can return to Allah in the middle of the day too. You can apologize. You can correct yourself. You can restart. Winning the hour before Fajr does not mean becoming perfect after sunrise. It means creating a stronger beginning and becoming better at returning when you slip. Consistency matters more than perfection. If you miss one morning, do not turn it into a week. If you oversleep, continue the next day. If your concentration was weak, continue. If you did not feel emotionally connected, continue. Do not become addicted to spiritual excitement. Build spiritual discipline. Feelings change. Habits can carry you when feelings are weak. Think about how different your life may look after months of protecting this hour. Not because every dua instantly became reality, but because you became different. Perhaps you complain less. Perhaps you think before reacting. Perhaps your relationship with Allah feels more personal. Perhaps you no longer need constant attention. Perhaps your mornings become calmer. Perhaps you become more disciplined with your work. Perhaps you finally leave something you knew was harming you. Perhaps you stop chasing a person. Perhaps you forgive yourself for an old mistake. Perhaps you become more grateful for things you once ignored. Those changes may look small individually. Together, they can completely change a life. Never say, "It is only 1 hour." A life is made of hours. A character is made of repeated choices. A strong relationship with Allah is built through moments when nobody is watching. And a peaceful day often begins before the world becomes loud. Protect the hour before Fajr. Do not make it complicated. Do not turn it into a competition. Do not compare your worship with anyone else's. Some people can spend a long time awake. You may only have a short time. Use what you have sincerely. Tonight, your greatest victory may simply be getting out of bed when you wanted to stay asleep. Tomorrow, it may be praying with more focus. The next day, it may be making one honest dua you have been avoiding. Keep building. One morning at a time, one sajdah at a time, one sincere dua at a time, one better decision at a time. You do not need to change your entire life before Fajr. Win that quiet hour, then carry its lessons into the hours that follow. That is how a morning becomes different. And when enough mornings become different, your life begins to become different too. The hour before Fajr may look quiet, but what happens there can change everything inside you. So tonight, do not underestimate one sincere dua, one private sajdah, or a few peaceful minutes with Allah. Wake up, ask, trust, and let Allah strengthen your heart before the world wakes up.